What's up, family? Buckle up, because this one's messy. I grew up in Ohio, middle child of 3. My older brother Chris, me, Ethan, and my younger sister Emily. From the outside, we probably looked like a normal suburban family. But inside the house? It was chaos, and not the fun kind. Chris was the golden child. Straight A's, football, marching band, whatever he touched, he excelled at. He wasn't mean like some golden kids you read about, but he didn't have to be. My parents worshipped him so much there wasn't room for the rest of us. Emily, on the other hand, was the baby. The oops, child who came 5 years after me. And let me tell you, my parents treated her like a porcelain doll. If Chris was the king, Emily was the crown princess. Which left me, what? The court jester, maybe? From the time I was 8, I was basically Emily's unpaid babysitter. My mom worked long shifts as a nurse, my dad traveled a lot for his sales job, and Chris had his sports. So guess who got left home with Emily? Yup. Me. It started with little things. Ethan, can you watch your sister while I run to the store? But by the time I was 12, it was full weekends of me stuck at home with Emily, while everyone else lived their lives. Birthday parties? Missed half of them because your sister needs someone responsible here. School events? Skip those too. Every time I complained, Mom would say, "You're such a good brother, she looks up to you." Dad would add, "It builds character." What it really built was resentment. Emily wasn't a bad kid, but she was spoiled rotten. Tantrums got her candy. Whining got her toys. And if I ever pushed back, I was the problem. One Christmas, she threw my brand new video game in the fireplace because I wouldn't let her play. My parents replaced her broken toy the next day, but told me I should learn to share. By high school, I had basically given up. Chris got the spotlight, Emily got the baby treatment, and I got whatever crumbs of attention were left. I stayed out of trouble, kept my grades decent, and worked part-time at a diner just to have an excuse not to be home. When I was 16, I got into art. Drawing was my escape. I even got accepted into this summer art program across the state. I was so excited. But when I told my parents, they shut it down instantly. "Who's going to watch Emily while we're at work?" Mom asked. Dad added, "We can't just leave her alone all summer." I still remember staring at them, realizing they weren't joking. My once-in-a-lifetime opportunity gone because they needed a free babysitter. Chris had gone to football camps, band trips, even Europe with the school choir. Me, stuck at home making mac and cheese for Emily. The breaking point came senior year. Chris had already graduated and was at college. I got into a good state university, nothing fancy but solid. I had scholarships too. I was ready to get out. 2 weeks before move-in day, Mom sat me down. "Ethan, we've been thinking. Maybe you should stay home for a year. Help with Emily. College will still be there." I laughed in her face. Not proud of it, but I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I told him flat out I was leaving. Dad got mad, said I was being selfish, that family comes first. I shot back, "Family? You mean the family where I'm free childcare and nothing else?" That night was the first time I ever yelled at them. I left for college anyway. Packed my stuff, didn't even wait for Dad to approve. Mom cried. Emily pouted. Dad didn't say a word. I didn't care. College was the best 4 years of my life. I finally got to be Ethan, not Emily's babysitter. I joined clubs, made friends, got serious about my art. By junior year, I was selling designs online and making decent side money. Meanwhile, back home, things weren't so perfect. Chris graduated and moved to California for a tech job. Emily, now a teenager, was a nightmare. All that spoiling turned her into someone who thought the world revolved around her. She refused chores, screamed at my parents, skipped school. Without me there to manage her, they realized they had no control. I didn't hear much from them, honestly. Just the occasional guilt trip call. "We miss you, Ethan. Your sister keeps asking when you'll visit." I kept my distance. After college, I moved to Chicago, got a job at a design firm, and started building a real life. Met my girlfriend, got my own apartment, felt free for the first time ever. Fast forward a few years. Emily got pregnant at 19. Dad called me in a panic. She made a mistake, Ethan, but she needs support. We all need to pull together as a family. I said, not my kid. Not my problem. He hung up on me. Mom called the next day, crying. She's so young. You know what it's like to feel lost. I reminded her I felt lost my entire childhood, and she didn't care then. Silence. Then, I thought you were better than this. Click. Emily had the baby. Then another 2 years later. By 22, she had 2 kids and no stable job. My parents were drowning, raising her kids while she went out partying. And you know what their brilliant plan was? Me. They started calling weekly, begging me to step up, babysit on weekends, send money, move closer. One time, Mom actually said, "You owe it to your sister after everything we did for you." I laughed so hard I almost dropped the phone. Everything you did for me? You mean canceling my art camp? Forcing me to raise Emily while Chris got treated like a superstar? Yeah, thanks for that. Dad blew up. If you don't come back and help, don't bother calling yourself part of this family. I said, fine by me, and hung up. That was 2 years ago. Since then, I've barely spoken to them. Chris keeps his distance too. He called me once and admitted, they're paying for Emily's apartment now. They're broke, Ethan. I don't know what they're thinking. I told him I didn't know. They were still playing favorites, still enabling, still refusing to admit they screwed up. The kicker? Last Christmas, I hosted a little dinner with my girlfriend, a few friends, and Chris flew in. It was the first holiday I actually enjoyed. No screaming kids, no guilt trips, no. Ethan, can you watch your sister for a minute? Just peace. Meanwhile, my parents sent a group text Christmas morning. We're sad to spend the holiday without family. Neither Chris nor I replied. And that's where we are now. My parents still call sometimes, usually to beg for help with Emily's kids. Last week, Mom left a voicemail saying they're rewriting their will. We want to make sure Emily and the kids are taken care of. Chris, and you don't need it. I haven't called back. Because here's the truth, they chose this path. They chose to make me the babysitter instead of the son. They chose to spoil Emily instead of raising her. They chose to ignore me every time I needed them. Now, they can live with it. And me? I've got my life. My art. My girlfriend. My peace. For the first time, I'm not the forgotten little kid. I'm just Ethan. And I'm not going back.